Namaskar. Hi, this is Dr. Neha Arun Haryani, Associate Professor, SB Garda Arts and PK Patel College of Commerce, Navsari. Welcome to this session of communication skills. What we say and how we say through our behavior and body language speak volumes about us. Judgment is made about our competence, education, and trustworthiness through our communication skills. So, words are important. Communication is important. We should use words as our energy because they are power. Never use words like defeat, problem. Instead, use words like hope, faith, belief, victory, success. When you use positive words, they engulf you in the power of positivity, and that leads you to a winning mind frame. So words are really important. And so today we are going to discuss about the communication skills and why they are important. It is said that when the words are in our mouth, we are their masters. But when they come out of our mouth, they become our masters. Friends, this is really true. These words, when used unconsciously, they can make or mar our reputation. So always be conscious about the use of words. We have seen hundreds of examples where people are trolled for wrong post or some post in which they have not used words consciously. So use them as your energy. Shakespeare has also said that if you mend your language a little, it can mar your reputation. So always make your reputation by the power of words. We know that it can lead you to embarrassing situations or can put you in some awkward moments. Let me share one hilarious example in regard to this. Use of a single letter in a different way can mar the reputation. Once, there was some auspicious occasion in the palace of the Maharaja of Bhavnagar. People were invited, dignitaries were invited. So, when the invitation card was printed, due to some negligence of somebody, the printing that was to show that ભાવનગરના મહારાજાનું આમંત્રણ, the words wo and no got interchanged. See, you can see what will be the impact of that. How awkward it will look, whereas it is not Bhavnagar but Bhanvagar. Only wo and no are changed. This is the power of words. Suppose you have some function in your college. Some guests are invited and you are supposed to introduce somebody well versed in our subject. We have the technical knowledge, we have the theoretical knowledge. So why this fuss about communication? Why we are using communication? But friends, let me tell you that whatever technical skill you have, you should communicate it, or you have to communicate it through language, through words. And at that time, it is communication which will help you, your choice of words, your expressions that will just give some air of education to you. In the words of renowned businessman and motivational speaker Paul G. Meyer, communication, the human connection, is the key to personal and career success. Yes, friends, communication is the real human connection. And it is because of that here we are in this lecture of communication skills. Now, if we go to the history of communication, the word communication is derived from the Latin word communis, which means to inform, to tell, to show, to spread information. So this is how the word is derived. And we all know that the history of communication is too old. The non-verbal communication, it is 150,000 years old, friends. The oral communication, 55,000 years old. And the written communication, 6,000 years old. So it's really too ancient a history. Friends, just think for a while. Just think that what was the mode or medium of communication some 100 years back, a century back, or 80 years back. And what is communication today? We can think, we know that some 60, 80 years back, people used to gather together. They will sit together, they will talk face to face, they will gossip, they may sit in the temple, they may sit in some garden, and they will talk. So face to face communication was the real communication. Then some written communication was also there. There were messengers who used to take the letters. There were some, animals and birds. They also did the duty as messengers. We know that kabutar ja ja ja. Kabutar, that is the pigeon, was the messenger. But then it evolved rapidly after the invention of telephone. Yes, friends, we had the wired telephone. I'm sure you were not born at that time. But still, you have seen in the movies or you have heard from somebody that wired telephone, they were not directly dialed to the number. You have to take the help of the telephone operator. He will dial or she will dial that number for you. So they used to overhear our communication, our conversation. And slowly that wired connections became wireless. Communication is now evolving rapidly. We know how the scenario has changed with the wireless connections. I think the first was the use of pager. But slowly with the mobile phones, the smartphones, with the 4Gs and 5Gs, with the geo-revolution, each and every home in the country and all members of the family are now having the mobile, the cell phone with them. So this communication has changed its mode so rapidly, and today we all know that with good Wi-Fi connection, with good bandwidth, see how we communicate. We communicate on various platforms. We have video calls, we have audio calls, we have chats. Even the lecture today is an example of the new way of communication. We have so many alternatives to communicate, and that is the power and importance of communication and how it is evolving with technology. There are many definitions of communication. To quote Webster, Webster defines it as a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, and behaviors. There are so many people, renowned people, who have defined communication. But to simplify communication, I can say that communication is defined as the interchange of thoughts or opinions through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. Exactly, friends. So, communication is a process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, and feelings through speech, signals, writings, and behavior. This is how we can communicate. Of course, there are many modes of communication. But basically, there are 4 facets of communication: the sender, receiver, information, and behavior. The sender, the person who sends the message, who drafts the message; the receiver, to whom the message is directed. Information is the message itself, and behavior is the change which happens with the message. So, whatever the mode of communication, these 4 facets are important. And the whole process of communication, it goes with some components which are necessary in the process of communication. Let us discuss that components. They are the sender, the message, the encoder, the medium, the receiver, the decoder, and the feedback. It is the sender, the person who conveys the message, as I told you, to another person. He initiates communication. He formulates the message in his mind and then conveys the message to the receiver. That message itself is the subject matter of communication, which a sender sends. The sender creates a clear message in his mind and conveys it to the receiver. A message always consists of facts, opinions, information, etc. Then the message is communicated to the receiver. But friends, before reaching it to the receiver, here the sender has to be a good encoder. The sender, who is that encoder? He needs encoding skills. So they are really necessary. It will make the receiver understand the message clearly. Because when the sender translates the message into words, symbols, or some other form, he is using the encoding skills. See, if the message is not properly encoded by the sender, it can result into a message failure. Just think, if you are communicating through emojis, this is what youngsters do today. This is their language of communication. And if you want to send a happy face that you are happy, and you send some gloomy face, some gloomy emoji, see, the message will be miscommunicated. It will be misunderstood. Recently, I just saw on Instagram that Netflix has asked to post your favorite emoji so that they can give you the whole list of your kind of web series or your favorite movies. For example, if you just post some romantic emoji, you will have a list of the titles of web series which may be of your kind. If you post some laughing emoji, you will have a list of the comic series. So this is how communication through emojis, so through symbols is done. So the sender has to be very conscious in encoding the message. Apart from the sender, the message and the encoding skills, the medium, the channel of communication is also very important. Friends, we know that we have basically 3 V's of communication: the verbal, the vocal, and the visual. But whatever the channel, you should be able to communicate effectively as a sender. Because communication is the act of transmitting the messages to the receiver. Channels of communication include speaking, writing, meetings, memos, letters, reports, emails, text messages, and faxes. And of course, the vocal and non-verbal mode of communication. Now, the sender has encoded the message. The message is formed. Proper channel is used. And now it reaches the receiver. The receiver is the person who receives the message by listening, reading, or viewing. He is the person who actually receives the message, he understands the actual meaning of the message and uses it for necessary action. So the sender gives the message and the receiver receives it. And that is how the process of communication continues. After receiving the message, now the receiver has to decode the message. This is the responsibility of the receiver. He will decode it, whatever is content, whatever information is sent to him. And for example, if the receiver is not able to decode the message, it will result into a message failure, like the message is in some foreign language. Obviously, the receiver will not be able to understand it, and it will be a decoding failure. So, encoding and decoding. Encoding by the sender and decoding by the receiver is equally important. It is after decoding the message in the right context, the sender will give the feedback. So, feedback is important. The effectiveness of the message is measured through the feedback. A receiver will give the sender a feedback, which is sent by the receiver back to the sender. And this way, if the feedback is positive, the communication is successful. The process of communication becomes successful. So now we know that what is communication? What is the importance of communication? We have seen a brief history of communication. And now, friends, let us look at the 7 C's of effective communication. They are like the backbone of effective communication. The 7 C's are completeness, conciseness, clarity, correctness, consideration, courtesy, and concreteness. You have to take care of these 7 C's of communication. First is the completeness. We know that every communication must be complete and adequate. Incomplete messages keep the receiver guessing. It creates misunderstanding and delays the action. So every person should therefore be provided with all the required facts and figures. This is necessary. That is the completeness of the message. For example, if a manager asks the supervisor to send the details about the stock, then it is the duty of the supervisor to give every minute detail like the size, the shape, the weight, the quality, the quantity, the cost. He should answer every question and if possible should also give some additional information that is related to that, so that the receiver gets an estimate of what the message is. So completeness is required. Next is the conciseness. Conciseness, brevity, is the soul of any communication. See, it is through conciseness that the receiver is able to focus on the message. There are many advantages of being concise in drafting a message or in conveying a message. First is it saves the time of both the sender and the receiver. And if it is chargeable, then it also saves money. So you have to be concise when you draft a message. Another advantage is when you become concise, when you try to become concise, you eliminate the unwanted, unimportant information. You eliminate irrelevant things. As a result, the sender gets a clear understanding of the message. And when you become concise, you also avoid repetition. So this all together makes the receiver to decode the message in the right context. So conciseness is also important. Then comes the clarity. See, clarity means getting your message across as the receiver will understand when you are trying to convey it. You want the receiver to interpret the message as you want, as you have sent with the meaning. See, accomplishing this task is really difficult because individual experiences are never identical. People don't have the same kind of understanding. So, being clear is really challenging when you communicate. But there are certain things which can lead to clarity in the message. Like you can use short, familiar, conversational words. Don't be ambiguous in delivering the message. Construct effective sentences and paragraphs. Achieve appropriate readability. If necessary, include examples, illustrations, and other visual aids when required. So, clarity is difficult but not impossible. Next, C of effective communication is correctness. See, right level of language and accuracy of facts, figures, and words are important in communication. If the information is not correctly conveyed, the sender will lose credibility. Transmission of incorrect information to outsiders will spoil the public image of the firm. So, everywhere you should be conscious about the authenticity of the message. To convey correct message, grammatical errors should also be avoided because that will mar your image and it will show that you are not educated when you communicate with wrong spellings or grammar. So you should not transmit any message unless you are absolutely sure of its correctness. So correctness matters. Then comes consideration. See, consideration means that you think about the receiver. You take his circumstances, his problems, his culture, his background into consideration. It is the you attitude or empathy. In any effective communication, you attitude or empathy or human connection or the sympathetic understanding of the other person's emotional state of mind is really important. Then and then you can reach to the heart of others. See, it is said that when you speak in the language which the people understand, then it is fine. It reaches their head. But when you speak in their language, it reaches their heart. Friends, this is really important. Language is not only the language as we say English, Gujarati, Hindi, but there are also other languages. Like if I want to teach an undergraduate student, then for him, the video of some drama, if I'm teaching Shakespeare, then the movie of Shakespeare is easily understood than the text of Shakespeare. So I have to understand their language and then communicate in that particular language. So this empathetic attitude is necessary in effective communication. See, the whole scenario has changed these days. If we keep our eyes open, if we are a good observer, we can see that this is reflected even in invitation cards. Just try to remember an invitation card which you have recently received. It's an inauguration of some particular boutique or whatever. See, priorly, how the cards were drafted. It was a standard drafting that we are pleased to inform you that we are opening our new venture so and so place, and you are invited, you are cordially invited, the venue and the time and whatever. But now, if you see the drafting, it has shifted from I or we to you. And this is what we have to understand to gain success in relationships and even in profession. What the card says these days, how the invitation card is, you are pleased to know that we are coming to you, for you, at particular place. It is because of you that we will be coming to your place. So this you attitude is very much important because it just, the receiver feels that he is important. And when you feel that you are important, when people have the ability to make you feel important, definitely it matters. The message reaches to his or her heart. Now, apart from these C's, one of the important C is courtesy. Because courtesy stems from sincere you attitude. We were talking about the you attitude, and courtesy is an extension of that you attitude. To be courteous, considerate communicators should follow these suggestions regarding the tone of communication. Like, they should be tactful, thoughtful, and be appreciative in their communication. Always try to omit expressions that irritates, hurt, or belittle the receiver. Grant and apologize good-naturedly. Always try to become a people pleaser. Always try to become a people pleaser. Try to appreciate people. Try to be grateful to people. Use words like sorry and thank you. The attitude of gratitude in communication matters. The last but not the least C of effective communication is concreteness. Communicating concretely means being specific, definite, and vivid rather than vague and general. The following guidelines should help you compose concrete, convincing messages. Like, use specific facts and figures, put action in your verbs, choose vivid image building words. So you have to be precise. You should have all kind of details, accurate details in communication. So when you master these 7 C's of communication, you will definitely have command over communication. See, suppose we have mastered all the 7 skills of communication. But if we don't know what medium to choose for communication, then also there can be a communication failure. Medium is really important. If it is communicated through some other medium or the other language which is not the way to communicate to the particular receiver, then it can also be not effective. So, depending upon the situation, one method of communication may be better than another. Suppose in person, we can communicate one to one. We can communicate through meetings, small groups, also through presentations and in large groups. So, this is in-person communication. Again, in written communication, we can use letters, memos, notes, emails, voicemails, chats. So, SMS, these are the ways or these are the mediums that we can use to communicate a specific subject. Let us try to check our understanding of the medium. Let us have a small exercise. Just ponder. Suppose there is an organizational change in your unit. This is the situation. Then how will you communicate, or what medium will you use? I'm sure you know the answer. The best way to communicate an organizational change in your unit is by memo and small group meetings. Yes, friends, this is the way. If you try to use a personal medium, a personal way of one-to-one, then it will not reach to all. Similarly, if you have to introduce a new employee of your institution, what medium will you choose? See, you can use a group and one-to-one meetings medium. Yes, you can have a meeting and you can introduce the person. Or if somebody meets you there, you can introduce him one-to-one also. If there is a change in someone's job duties and you have to inform, what will you do? Obviously, you will inform through memos or one-on-one meeting, because the change in the duty goes with that particular person. Similarly, a reprimand. If the person is rated poorly in his job, then obviously it will be a one-to-one private meeting. It should not be conveyed publicly. Again, the notice of the meeting should be communicated by memos and emails, or now we have WhatsApp groups, so that are also there. So the medium is important. What medium you use will show the effectiveness of communication. Apart from medium, there are various levels of communication. I'm sure you know that. They are like intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication, small group communication, one-to-one group communication, and mass communication. Intrapersonal communication occurs in your mind. It is the basis of your feelings, bias, prejudices, and beliefs. For example, when you make any kind of decision, like what to eat or what to wear, when you think about something like what to do in this weekend or where to go or whom to meet, this are the examples of intrapersonal communication that occurs into your mind. Then we have interpersonal communication. This is the communication which occurs between two people, or even more if it is some informal kind of communication. Examples like what you are talking about some assignment with your teacher, or about some project with your friend. These are the examples of interpersonal communication. Then we have small group communication. Communication within formal and informal groups or teams are known as small group communication. It is a group interaction that results into decision making or problem solving or some discussion which is required for some organization. Like a team leader discussing the project with his team, or the teacher discussing an assignment, a class assignment with the whole class. So these are small group communications. Next is the one-to group communication. It involves a speaker who seeks to inform, persuade, or motivate an audience. Obviously, one person is talking to the group. So he has a purpose in speaking. Either he wants to inform, or he wants to persuade people, convince people, or motivate the audience. Examples like a teacher and a class of students, a preacher and a congregation, a speaker and an assembly of people in the auditorium. These are all the examples of one-to group communication. Then it is the mass communication. It is the electronic or printed transmission of messages to the general public. Here, the intention is to reach the mass. As it is said, mass communication. And mass media is used for that, like television, radios, or some magazines, newspapers. And that way, information reaches to the mass. The only disadvantage of this type of communication is that the feedback generally reaches very slow, or the feedback is delayed in such kind of communication. So friends, we have discussed the concept of communication, the history of communication, the importance of communication, and the components and the 7 C's of communication. All together is necessary for effective communication. Now, I'm sure that you also have understood that what is the importance of the medium of communication and on what levels communication is done. Friends, I hope now you will start communicating this way effectively and will give importance to this skill, because communication is the only complete portable skill which can help you in maintaining relationships, for networking, and for your personal and professional success. 2 things, 2 acronyms you should take you should keep in mind that if somebody says, what kind of communication should be there? Then always say that it should be hot. Yes, friends, that doesn't mean arguments, but should it be honest, open, and two-way. So, communication should always be hot. It is always a two-way process. Secondly, how message should be delivered. Here, if I talk in your language, in abbreviations, then you can say that always follow the abbreviation KISS. KISS. Keep it short and simple. If you can understand this, you will be able to master the art of communication. I'm sure you must have enjoyed the session. Thank you all.